Hey there! Happy almost New Year! Have you been?
Oh, hey. I'm doing great, thanks. Can you believe it's already almost New Year's? Time just flew by.
I know, right? So, I was actually thinking we should talk about all the different ways people discuss New Year in English, because there's so much more to it than just saying Happy New Year.
Oh, that's actually a great idea. I mean, there are so many phrases and expressions that come up this time of year. Where should we even start?
Well, let's start with the basics. When you're greeting someone around this time, you've got several options. Obviously, there's Happy New Year, but you can also say Happy New Year's Eve if it's December 31st specifically.
Right. And don't forget about have a great New Year. That's another common one. Oh, and I've heard people say wishing you a wonderful New Year too, which sounds a bit more formal.
Exactly. And here's something interesting. People often start using these greetings like a week or two before the actual day. Like, if I see you on December 28th, I might still say Happy New Year, even though it's not New Year's yet.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like how people start saying Merry Christmas weeks in advance. So, what about when the new year has already passed? Can you still say Happy New Year?
Good question. So typically, you can say Happy New Year for the first couple weeks of January. After that, it starts to sound a little weird. Like if someone says Happy New Year to you in March, you'd be like, thanks?
Oh my gosh, yes. That would be so awkward. Okay, so what about New Year's resolutions? That's a huge part of New Year conversations, isn't it?
Absolutely. So New Year's resolution, that's the classic term. For example, you might ask someone, do you have any New Year's resolutions? Or what are your resolutions for the new year?
Mm-hmm. And people usually respond with things like, my resolution is to exercise more, or I'm resolving to read more books this year. Actually, can you use resolve as a verb in that context?
Yes, definitely. You can say, I resolve to do something, which is a bit more formal, but most people just say, my resolution is, because it's simpler. Though honestly, between you and me, most New Year's resolutions don't last past January.
Oh, I know. There's actually expressions for that too, right? Like breaking your resolution or giving up on your resolution?
Exactly. You might say, I already broke my New Year's resolution, or I'm trying to stick to my resolution. Stick to is a really useful phrase here. It means to continue following through with something.
Oh, that's helpful. So I could say, I'm finding it hard to stick to my gym resolution. What about asking people about their plans? How do you do that naturally?
Great question. So there are tons of ways to ask. You could say, what are you doing for New Year's? Or do you have any plans for New Year's Eve? Some people also say, how are you ringing in the new year?
Wait, ringing in? What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a fun expression. To ring in the new year means to celebrate the arrival of the new year. It comes from the tradition of ringing bells at midnight. So you might say, we're ringing in the new year at Times Square. Or, how are you planning to ring in 2025?
Oh, I love that. That's so much more interesting than just saying celebrate. And speaking of midnight, there's the whole thing with the countdown in Times Square, isn't there? How do people talk about that?
Oh, yeah, the ball drop is iconic. People say things like, we're watching the ball drop, or did you see the ball drop at midnight? It's specifically about the big crystal ball that drops in Times Square in New York City at midnight.
That's so cool. What about the toasted midnight? There's special language for that too, right?
Definitely. So a toast is when you raise your glass and say something before drinking. At midnight, people often say cheers or here's to the new year. You might also hear longer toasts like here's to a happy and healthy new year.
And don't forget the classic Auld Lang Syne, though I'm not even sure what those words mean.
Yeah, nobody really knows. It's an old Scottish song that people sing at midnight. Auld Lang Syne roughly means old long since or days gone by. You'd say, we sang Auld Lang Syne at midnight, or they're playing Auld Lang Syne.
Interesting. Okay, so what about talking about the past year versus the coming year? Are there specific phrases for that?
Oh, absolutely. For the past year, people often say things like looking back on this year or reflecting on the past year. You might say, when I look back on 2024, I realize how much I've grown.
Mm-hmm. And for the future year,
For the coming year, you'd use phrases like looking ahead or looking forward to the new year. For example, I'm looking forward to what 2025 brings, or looking ahead, I want to focus on my health.
that makes sense. What about those people who say, new year, new me? You hear that a lot on social media.
Oh, yes. New Year, New Me is a really popular expression, especially on social media. It means you're planning to make significant changes in your life. Though people sometimes use it ironically because, like we said earlier, most people don't actually change that much.
Right, right. So someone might say it sarcastically, like, new year, new me. Who am I kidding? I'll be the same person tomorrow.
Exactly. Another common phrase is turn over a new leaf, which means to make a fresh start or change your behavior for the better. Like, I'm turning over a new leaf this year.
Oh, I like that one. What about when you're asking someone to reflect on their year? How would you phrase that?
Good question. You could ask, how was your year? Or what were the highlights of your year? Or maybe, what was the best thing that happened to you this year?
And I guess people might respond with things like, this year was a roller coaster, or it's been quite a year, right?
Yes, it's been quite a year is very common, especially if the year was challenging or eventful. You might also hear, what a year it's been, or I can't believe this year is over already.
What about talking about your hopes for the new year? Not exactly resolutions, but more like wishes or goals.
Oh, great distinction. So, you might say things like, I'm hoping for a better year, or my goal for this year is to travel more. You could also say, I'm planning to, or I want to focus on.
Right, and those sound less formal than resolution, which is nice. Like, I'm planning to be more organized sounds more casual than my resolution is to be more organized.
Exactly. And here's another phrase people use a lot. This is my year, as in 2025 is going to be my year. It means you're feeling optimistic that good things will happen.
I love that energy. So positive. What about when you're talking about time passing, like the transition from one year to the next?
Oh, there are several ways to talk about that. You might say, as we move into the new year or heading into 2025. People also say things like, we're closing out the year or wrapping up the year for December.
Closing out and wrapping up, those are good ones. So I could say, I'm trying to wrap up all my projects before the year ends.
Perfect. Exactly right. And for the actual moment of transition at midnight, you might say, when the clock strikes midnight or as soon as the new year hits.
Oh, that reminds me. What about the whole out with the old, in with the new saying?
Yes, that's a classic New Year expression. Out with the old, in with the new means you're getting rid of old things or old habits and bringing in new ones. It's all about that fresh start mentality.
I see. What about describing how you're going to spend New Year's Eve? Are there specific verbs or phrases people use?
Sure, so people might say, we're throwing a party, or we're hosting a New Year's Eve party. Or if you're attending, you'd say, I'm going to a party, or we're invited to a celebration.
And if someone's staying home?
Then they might say, we're having a quiet night in, or we're just staying home this year. Some people say we're keeping it low-key, which means simple and relaxed.
That's nice. Not everyone wants a big party. What about New Year's Day itself? How do people talk about January 1st?
Good point. New Year's Day is often associated with relaxation and recovery. People might say, I'm recovering from New Year's Eve, or I have a hangover.
Oh no, the dreaded New Year's Day hangover.
Yeah, it's pretty common. But on a more positive note, there are traditions like the New Year's Day parade. People might say, we're watching the Rose Parade, or we're going to the parade.
Right. And some people have traditional foods they eat on New Year's Day for good luck, don't they?
Absolutely. In the South, people eat black-eyed peas and collard greens for good luck. You might say, we always have black-eyed peas on New Year's Day, or it's tradition to eat certain foods for prosperity.
I love food traditions. Oh, what about when you're wishing someone well for the year? Besides Happy New Year, I mean.
There are lots of options. You could say, I wish you all the best in the new year, or may you have a prosperous new year. Some people say, here's to a great year ahead, or wishing you health and happiness.
Those are lovely. They sound more personal than just Happy New Year. What about when you meet someone for the first time in the new year?
Oh, good scenario. You might say, first time seeing you this year, or Happy New Year, this is our first meeting of 2025. It's kind of a fun thing to acknowledge.
Yeah, it's cute. What about talking about your New Year's Eve outfit? Is there specific vocabulary for that?
Well, people often talk about dressing up for New Year's Eve. You might say, I'm getting dressed up for the party, or what are you wearing to ring in the new year? Some people go all out with fancy outfits.
Sequins and sparkles everywhere. What about the whole midnight kiss tradition? How do people talk about that?
Ah, yes, the midnight kiss. People say things like, who are you kissing at midnight? Or, I need to find someone to kiss at midnight. It's supposed to bring good luck and love for the coming year.
That's sweet. What if someone doesn't have plans? How do they talk about that without sounding sad?
Good question. People usually keep it casual. They might say, I'm taking it easy this year, or I'm not really a New Year's person. Or you could say, I'm just going to see where the night takes me.
Those sound natural and not awkward at all. What about making small talk about New Year at work or with acquaintances?
Oh, that's really common. You'd typically ask, did you have a good New Year? Or how was your New Year's Eve? And people usually give a brief answer, like, it was nice, we had a quiet night in, or it was fun, we went to this great party.
And then you ask about their resolutions, right?
Exactly. Though, some people find the resolution question a bit personal, so you could also ask, do you have any goals for this year? It's a little softer.
That's a good tip. What about when you're talking about past New Year's celebrations? How do you describe them?
You'd use past tense, obviously. You might say, last New Year's Eve, we went to Times Square. Or, a few years ago, we had an amazing New Year's party. People love sharing New Year's memories.
Especially the funny ones. What about expressing excitement about the new year?
You could say things like, I'm so excited for the new year. Or, I can't wait to see what this year brings. Or even, I have a really good feeling about this year.
Those are all so positive. What if someone's not feeling optimistic? How do they express that?
Well, they might say something like, I'm approaching the new year with caution. Or, I'm being realistic about my expectations. Or, honestly, I'm not getting my hopes up.
Fair enough. Not everyone's a New Year's optimist. What about talking about the passage of time in general around New Year?
Oh, that's a big theme. People say things like, another year has gone by, or where did the time go? There's also time flies, which is super common.
My parents say time flies literally every time I see them. What about decade transitions, like when we went from 2019 to 2020?
Oh, that's special. You might say, we're entering a new decade, or welcome to the 20s. People get extra excited about decade changes, though the 2020s have been quite a ride so far.
That's an understatement. Okay, last question. What about when you're writing New Year's messages, like in cards or texts? Any tips?
Sure. Keep it personal and warm. You might write, wishing you a year filled with joy and success, or may all your dreams come true in the new year. You can also say, cheers to new beginnings, or here's to making 2025 unforgettable.
Those are perfect. Way better than just texting HNY to everyone.
Right? Though HNY is fine for casual texts. The most important thing is to be genuine, whether you're speaking or writing.
Absolutely. Well, this has been super helpful. I feel like I have so many more ways to talk about New Year now.
Me too, actually. It's funny how we use all these expressions without really thinking about them, but breaking them down like this makes you appreciate the language more.
Totally agree. Well, since we're on the topic, do you have any plans for New Year's Eve?
I was wondering when you'd ask. Actually, yeah, I'm going to a friend's party. Nothing too crazy, just good food, good company, and we'll count down to midnight together. What about you?
That sounds perfect. I'm still deciding. Might do dinner with family and then head to a party later. We'll see where the night takes me.
Using the phrase we just talked about. I love it. Well, whatever you end up doing, I hope you have an amazing time ringing in the new year.
Thanks. You too. And hey, here's to a great 2025.
Cheers to that. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.